That's what my father always said.
You have a Gemora on Daf Mem Gimel Amid.
Okay.
I was out for a few days because they say the water. The water is, and I was sick for 2 days. The water is supposed to be Torah. So why did the bugs in the water here didn't agree with the bugs in America? So it took me 2 days to get used to it.
You're here now, that's what counts.
Absolutely.
Who comes to close of the sugi over here?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
There are a lot of new faces here.
Baruch Hashem.
Is it the Torah, the berries, or the fruit? I don't know. Or is it a combination of all three?
Well,
Lowlish one, bullish one?
it would be. That's supposed to work very effectively.
Yes. And also you're being recorded.
We
This is
noticed.
This is a much higher Mazega.
NBC.
NBC, CBS.
So I'll give my introduction. I have to introduce myself every year. So here we are in Yeshiva Samanavshi, located in Yerushalayim here at Kodesh, in the building of Hanukkah Yeshivas, located in number 6 Zikron Yaakov. We're very close to the central bus station, so you're welcome to join us for our shirim. You can walk, bus, or drive if you have a car to join us. And we are learning Gemora now. I'm substituting for Rabbi Reuven Levitt, who's in America raising funds for the yeshiva. Anyone who can assist him, either now or in the future, is watching this at some time or another, their assistance will be greatly appreciated and well used.
Did you announce your name or you don't announce your
I'm
name?
Rabbi Shlomo Furst. For anyone who would like to contact me, please feel free.
Good.
Sure, thank you. Daf Mem Gimel Amid Aleph. Let's see, we have to get a bit of a running start here. Let me give an introduction as follows. The Gemora is about to, we're going to concentrate, is about to close the sugya. We were dealing with a particular question was asked to Reish Lakish. And in terms of the question, Rabba and Rav Yochanan, that's the top line in the Gemora, Rabba and Rav Yochanan gave a teretz to the Brisa, that the Brisa was talking about a Gerusha. And therefore that ended the question to Reish Lakish. Okay? The Gemora, if you go to the 6th line in the Gemora, the first word is Nukma l'Rabba, Kigon Shagavu Mois, Rav Nachman Kigon Shagavu Karka. The Gemora, after the explanation of the teretz that Rabbi and Rav Nachman gave of Gerusha, that we're dealing with a divorced woman, the Gemora now suggests, why can't we give a more general answer to the Brisa that would be complementary in terms of the Shita of Rabbi and the Shita of Rav Yochanan differently? Because we're talking about the collection of Tsar and Nezek. What was the Brisa talking about? The Brisa was talking about a situation as follows. We know there's a pasuk in the Torah, 2 men are fighting, and there's a woman who's pregnant, and she gets involved into the fight, and she, because of a blow by one of the 2 contestants, she miscarries. Okay? So the money, what we call the Vlados, goes to the husband, and the Tsar and Nezek, the damage and the suffering costs, go to the woman herself. Okay? That's as long as the woman's alive. But let's say the woman is no longer with us, and after the demise of the woman, the Beis Din collects the Tsar and the Nezek from the person who perpetrated the act. Again, it was an act b'shogeg. He didn't intentionally hit the woman to have her miscarry. And sometime later, she died, not because of the causes of the miscarriage, not because of the blow of the person who assaulted her unknowingly. And now she's in Olam Emes, and the person who assaulted her unknowingly, unintentionally, has to pay Tsar and Nezek to the inheritors.
The Yoshim.
The Yoshim of the woman, the heirs of the woman. Okay? So the Gemora wants at this point to set up the teretz to the Brisa that why can't we be talking about that Rava would be setting up the case where the Beis Din collected money from the assaultant, and according to Rav Nachman, the Beis Din collected karka from the assaultant. Now, what does that gain for us? The question that the Gemora is based upon is, how do you look at an inheritance? An inheritance is something which is bequeathed to the heirs of the deceased, right? But that in general can have two types of components. A component of, as we've been talking about, real assets, which the Gemora calls muksak, and potential assets, which the Gemora calls roi. You have two things, two components, roi, potential assets, and you have muksak, you have something which is a real asset. So now, when the Beis Din collects this money, right, for the damages after the woman's deceased, how do you look at the money? How do you look at the karka? Rabba and Rav Nachman look at the situation in two different ways. Okay, we're going to see some Rashis now because we want to understand the teretz of the Gemora. And in order to do that, we need to apply the din of inheritance to the Bechor. A Bechor, as we know, if he's a true Bechor, true firstborn, meeting all the requirements according to Jewish law, he gets pishnayim. The Torah awards him a double portion of the inheritance. But that's limited. It's limited to the things which are only muksak, which are actual real assets of the father. Anything which would be a potential asset of the father, right? He would get a standard portion just like any of the other inheritors of the father. Anything which is muksak, which is actually owned by the father, then he would get pishtayim, would get his double portion. But something which is a potential asset, for example, let's say we have a field of wheat, right? The field is something which is muksak. The field is real assets. Real assets. The crop which is on the field, right, depending on how much is grown, when it's grown, in terms of when the heirs took legal rights, Jewish legal rights to the field, the crop on the field could be considered, in most cases, roy. It's not there. It's only there in potential. Especially if you only grow to shlish, if it only grow to third, right? Until it grows to third, it's really not really there. It doesn't really have any value. The field doesn't have any extra value. But let's say it's grown to a more than a shlish. Now the field, even the field's value could increase because it has a crop there. If the crop is ripe, it might increase the field's value even more, right? This is what we call a question of the payers of the karka, whether that will be considered to be potential assets or real assets. That's just a dugma, an example of understanding what's roy. It's not actual assets, right? Because the payers, a wind could come and blight the whole crop, right? A fire could come and burn out the whole crop. So that's not actually, can't really assume that's going to be collectible assets.
On what basis do we say this is something that Bahor gets pishnayim, and the other things are potential? Why are we differentiating? Bahor is only receiving on the actual. What's the logic behind that?
That is exactly what Rashi is going to teach us. Hopefully the answer to your question will be found in Rashi, and in the next 15 to 20 minutes, I hope we have a clear answer to you. And if not, you ask the question again, and we'll attempt another answer, okay? By looking at the Rashi again, because the answer is in Rashi. Yes. Okay. So let's just look at the Gemora briefly, and we'll see the Rashis that are relevant. Rachmi, would you like to read the Gemora? It was over there, like I said, 6 lines down. The first word on the line is Nukma. Let's establish the Brisa, first according to Rabbah, and then according to Rav Nachman. Everyone have the spot? Good.
This is our Brisa.
Our Brisa. This Brisa, by the way, is located to the bottom of the previous Amud.
The Nukma, the Rabbah, and it was established by Rabbah. To go on, for example, Shikavu Motek. They collected, the Beit Din collected actual money from the Chovel to pay up the Tzav and Ezek to the woman.
And this was after the demise of the woman. Right?
After the
That's an
demise of the
important point that we have to realize that the Beis Din collected this money after the demise of the woman. And in certain ways, as Rashi can explain, this is similar to a loan. That the chayvil, the assaultant, he owes money to the woman or her heirs in this case. So this money that's collected, the cash that's collected, is similar to a payback of a loan, an outstanding loan.
And would the firstborn get a double portion or not?
Well, that's going to be the whole question. How do you look at it? We're going to transpose our discussion to a discussion of Rav and Rav Nachman in Bava Basra, which deals with a loan. And the question is, does the Bechor get pishtayim of a loan? Right? And we're going to try and apply that discussion to our Gemora. Meaning, we want to make it a comparison between a loan, an outstanding loan, that the heirs will inherit, right? To the due money for the payments of the Nezek and Tsar for the woman. Okay?
Okay. Look, my Rabbi, it's talking about collecting money. The Beit Din is collecting money. That's what Rabbi says. Rav Nachman could go on, for example, Shikavu Karka. The Beit Din collected Karka from the Chovel, from the Mazik.
Right, because now the Gemora is going to now follow through, and Rashi is going to explain in more detail. Rabbi specifically wants to set up the case. We would want the Rabbi to give a teretz to the bride so they collected money, because money would be considered mukzak, and according to Rav Nachman, kark is considered mukzak, right? And that's the Amr. This is the discussion that the Gemora is transposing from Bava's Basra to us over here now. The Amr Rabba.
So this Kagog is talking about Muksak here? Right?
That would be the case, because there's only something which is muksak will be able to be transferred to the heirs. We'll see in Rashi.
Okay.
We're going to compare it to the Pishnayim, right? That's what the Gemara is going to quote now.
But money can change also.
What do you mean by yeah? Go ahead.
So it could also
Meaning
change.
meaning in terms of its value. I mean,
The value it could also change. So maybe she left. They got the karka, and you said the dugma that you don't know what's going to come out. There could be a fire. It could be worth less. But it could also be like money like that also.
Yeah.
That's not today also.
Right.
Exactly the dugma today is the dollar goes up and down. So
Okay,
it's
so
not the same dollar.
yeah, right. It could in fact change. Well, again, when a person borrows $1,000 from you,
Let's give back $1,000.
give back that. Whatever it's worth, but if you start giving back shekels instead, so then you have problems. You have problems with ribbis, all kinds of other trials. But you borrow 1,000, right? You give back 1,000, over and done with.
So give the answer. You're talking about you get the dugma like chita.
Yeah.
So I don't care if it costs $1,000 for a ton or even $100,000 or $100. I give you back the chita. It's the same thing, like the money.
Yeah, that's
The same.
That's saw b'saw. That's it.
Except there's a broch. If there's a, but if it burns, it burns. But the shavi could also change. So all these things.
That's right. That's right. So look, everything in certain aspects is only temporary. But we're going to see. We'll pay attention to Rashi. What's the again when you're looking at a Yerusha, you're looking at a inheritance, and whether it's considered real assets or potential assets, and that's going to, then in our case here, we're discussing now about the Bechor getting Pishtayim, he only gets Pishtayim, which is something which is Muksa. Now, what's the difference? How are we going to see Rabba and Rav Nachman look at money and karka in different ways as to whether it's considered Muksuk or not? Good. Okay. The Amar Rabba, go ahead, Rachmi.
The Mar Rabba said, Kavu Karka, they collected Karka, Yesh to the Bechor Pishnayim. So Karka is a Muchzak, it is actual assets, according to Rabba.
Good.
Kavu Ma'ot, Ein Lo. But if they collected money, so this is considered a Rui.
Right, but he doesn't get Pishtayim.
Pishtayim.
The Bechor will not get his double portion.
Potential.
His potential, right.
Potential assets.
That's Rabba. Now Rav Nachman Omer.
אנחנו אמר, קבעו מאוד, יש לו. Nachman, they collected money. Yes, Lord. Oh, the money is actual assets, and the Bechor gets Pishnayim. Kavu Karka, but if they collected Karka, Ein Lo. Because it is potential assets, and the Bechor will not get Pishnayim. This is according to Rab Nachman.
Right. So that was the question that was raised in the Beis Medrash. Why don't we allow Rabba to give a teretz according to his opinion about inheritances, and let Rav Nachman give a teretz to the Brisa according to his opinion about inheritances? So now, just to finish the Gemora, Amri, they answered in terms of a teretz. Why can't we answer this as a teretz? Honey, Amri, they said in the Beis Medrash.
Amri Hani Mili Levi Marava Libu the Rabbana.
When was this said? When were these words? Now, those words of Rabba and Rav Nachman, those were referring to the opinion of the Bnei Marava, meaning those Chachamim, sages that were in Eretz Yisrael, according to the opinion of the Rabbanan. Okay?
And Hacha here, in our case,
Good.
Rabba, Rav Nachman are judging.
They're speaking. They're speaking here,
like
here,
Rabbi.
Rebbe, like Rebbe's opinion. So there in Bava Basra that you wanted to apply, you can't apply here because here they're speaking in the Shita in the opinion of Rebbe. Over there, their discussion took place according to the opinion of the Rabbanim in the discussions that took place in Eretz Yisrael. So therefore, that's a technical reason why we can't employ that here. Now, what's important for us is a few Rashis here, because we'll now get an insight with Rashi's help into how Rabba and Rav Nachman analyze and view the inheritance in terms of cash and karka. Let's take a look at the Rashis. Let's just see what the Gemora says in terms of its question. Nukma l'Rabba, we wanted to establish a teretz to the Brisa according to Rabba and according to Rav Nachman in a different way than they presented earlier by a Gerusha. Take a look at the Nukma l'Rabba.
Nukma l'Rabba, Lama lahu l'Rabba, and Nachman Nukma Gerusha. Why did they set it up? Why did they set it up as with a Gerusha? Lukma, the Ma'aditlei, the Ma'aditlei.
V'yesh nochli. You read that all together, right? Lukma market islay. Market islay, v'yesh nochli. So set it up, Nukma. Set it up, market islay. He, the master, like that's Rabbah, according to him. And Mar Kedislay, and Mar meaning Rav Nachman Kedislay, like him, meaning himself. Yesh Noklim in the Gemora there in Yesh Noklim.
That word appears in Bava.
Right.
Yesh Noklim.
And now you got like you put a colon there, 2 dots. Nukma, the Gemara's what does it mean? What's the Gemara's attempt to set it up? Nukma the Rabbah.
Nukma the Rabbah. Don't say the who paid him out. For example, the Beit Din collected from the mazik, they hit the woman to pay up in money. Mina mazik, from the mazik. The shalem nezik atzah, to pay up damages and suffering to the woman, even though she was still around when he was obligated to pay her.
Even though that he, the Choivel, was obligated to her Mechaim while she was alive, right? Lo Aidiv, excuse me, it's not any better.
It's not any better than milveh b'shtar, like a milveh alone.
Right? So the Rashi says right there on the spot that the Gemara's basis of comparison is like a loan. The debt that the choivel, the assaultant, owes to the woman and now her heirs, right, is no better than a loan. It's just as if just like he owes her because he did damage, just like he owes her that if he borrowed money from her. Right? So therefore we're going to transfer the sugya in Bava Basra that's talking about a halva alone.
Right.
We're going to transfer their opinions, Rav's opinion and Rav Nachman's opinion by alone
Now
to
it's
us in terms of the tashlumim for tsar and nezek. That's going to be going to the Yorshim or not.
Why are we saying that?
That was the Hezbollah that
It
Rashi
sounds a
gave.
little far-fetched.
Comparing.
Well, it's a comparison. We have a discussion of Rab and Rav Nachman in Bava Basra, and we have a teretz that Rab and Rav Nachman gave to our Bryce over here. So the Gemora is asking, or they were asking in the yeshiva in the time of the Gemora, they're asking, well, we had a very good explanation over there in the question of halva. So why can't it makes sense that they should be talking in the same frame of mind? Why should they switch and give a different teretz to a similar case? If it's a similar case, they should give the same teretz, right? So that's why Rashi has these last few lines that it's similar. It's no idea from middle b'shtar. It's no difference. Our case, an obligation to pay for damages, than there is if there was a outstanding debt. So if it's the same case, they should give the same terutzim. So why not? Oh, so now Rashi's going to give us 2 or 3 Rashis why and how Rab and Rav Nachman look at karka and how they look at money in terms of being muksuk or not. Gama Rabba, go ahead. Gavu.
Tomorrow, Gavu. Baba says that they collected
Yorshin.
karka. Karka they collected.
This is all the Gemora over there in Yesh Noklim. Over there, Rabba was saying that the Yorshin collected karka for the halva. Okay, for the loan, they collected land. Shalvo Havia, that their father had lent out. Over there in Bava Basra, Rabbah says that they collected, the inheritors collected land for the loan that the father lent out. They got land for the payment of the loan. Oh, in that case, when they got the land as the payment of the loan, the Bechor will get P9, he'll get his double portion. Why?
The Havale Kemuchzak. It is considered a actual asset.
Right, it's considered mukzak. It's actually considered to be within his domain. He's mukzak. He's considered to be owner. He has his byless ownership over that land. Why should he have ownership over the land?
The high karka, this karka, is the beble lavuhon. This karka had a lien on it to the father.
Right. Even during the life of the father had a control over that land in having a shibud, meaning if the loan wouldn't be paid with money, and the Beis Din would follow the proper procedures and collect karka from the borrower, right? The father could go and retrieve his loan in the form of land. Okay, so he has an actual shibud, he has an actual connection to that land previous even to the time of the payment. So therefore it's like it's already within the estate of the father. The land is considered to be within the estate of the father, so therefore if it's within the estate of the father, the Bechor gets double portion, Pishtayim. But Mois, not so. Why? Why aren't Mois considered to be within the estate of the father?
Gavumot ain't no. It doesn't have P2 before. Why? P2, the love, Hanimot, Iniach, Abihem, Vahavi Roy. These coins, this money, Shenich, they put forth their father. The love Hanim, it's not the same money that he lended, that they get back. It's different coins, different money. It's not the same thing. Lav hanimot hinech abihem. This is not the same money that their father lent out. Vahavi roy, there's potential assets.
Right. So money, according to Rabbah, so the Eloi, the Bechor doesn't get Pishtayim. Why? The lav hani mois haniach avihem. That those monies that the father lent out, the father is not bequeathing to the children. The children are not getting an inheritance of the money that the father lent out. Those monies were lent out and gone. Maybe they're spent. They've been passed on hand by hand 100 times perhaps since the loan took place. So the father is not bequeathing those monies that he lent out to the children. And therefore the repayment is considered roy. It's considered only potential, not an actual asset to the estate of the father. That's Rabba's opinion. Now we're going to look at Rav Nachman's opinion.
The Nachman Amar Gabu Maot, he collected money. Yeshlo. That means that the Bechor gets Pishtayim.
Right?
Kemuchazak Dami. Dami means like?
Similar to, right.
Similar.
The muksuk dummy, it's as if. Dummy is also as if. Right? It's similar, it's as if. It depends sometimes where it comes in the context and the syntax of the sentence. The dummy is similar to or as if. The muksuk dummy, it's as if he's muksuk. It's as if the estate already owns the most. That's in terms of Rav Nachman's opinion.
Kemuchazak Dami. It is actual assets, Dami. Shahari Ma'ot, Ilva Avihem, Ma'ot, because the Ma'ot, the father lent out money, and they got money in return. It doesn't have to be the same coins.
Yeah, so according to Rav Nachman, it doesn't have to be the exact same coins. Obviously, no one's expecting to get the same money, the same bills with the same serial numbers that he lends out. It's never going to happen, such a thing like that. And no one ever pays attention to write down the serial numbers of all the bills he's lending out. Money is money. It goes and it comes.
Okay, Gabe Karka, Eino. If they collected Karka, Eino, the Bechor does not get Pishnayim. The Karka lo hiniach avihem. The Karka, the land, he did not bequeath to his children.
The father did not bequeath to the children of the Karka.
The Karka. Avi Roy is a potential asset for the Bahacha Nami. Oh, somebody else.
Okay.
Bachanami, Ukma Rav Nachman Kagon Shagavu Karka Davi Roy. And here in our case, in the case of Nezikim, Tzav and Nezik,
Good.
Nami Ukma, we also set it up like Rav Nachman Kagon Shagavu Karka Davi Roy. That the inheritors of the woman, after she passed away, after she got damaged, Shigavu Karka, the Bechor will not get Pishnayim there, because Karka is something that is Ru'ui.
This is Rabbi Nachman, right?
This is Rav Nachman. This is Rav Nachman, right? Rav Nachman, the Karka, since the Karka, even though Rav Nachman will agree, obviously, that there's a Shibud Karkois, right? With the taking of the loan, the loiva, the lender, assumes that and is making all his properties, even the shirt on his back, payable to the lender. However, even though he has a shibud karkos, that shibud doesn't give him a status of being muksik in that karka. Therefore, according to Rav Nachman, the status of the karka is not to be considered muksuk. It's only roy, because even though he has a potential to claim the money, the karka, he has a potential to claim the land, that will only be done if the borrower defaults and does not pay cash, and you have to resort to collecting his land. But that's not enough of a bias and ownership to be considered within the estate of the father. So just then in brief, Rav Nachman considers
The Karka Roy.
is roy, and the money is muksuk, right? And the opposite in terms of Rabbah holds that the money is not considered to be muksuk, and rather the karka, since he has a shibud, that shibud's enough to give the heirs a asset in the father, and therefore he'll get big stein with that.
So kesef by Rava is
Kesef Barabba
Roy.
is Roy, and therefore there's no pishtayim by Kesef. By karka, yes. By money, no. And Rav Nachman, the opposite. So now the Gemora gives the answer. Why couldn't it? Such a nice, as you call it, sushtel. It's such a nice comparison between the two sugyas. Well, why didn't the Gemora or Rabbi and Rav Nachman themselves give these teretz to our brisa that we've been dealing with? Why didn't they answer? So Amri, let's see the Rashi. Amri, they said, is a teretz.
Amrei, Hani Miri, they said, Amrei, who's saying this?
I mean, this is the Bnei Yeshiva. The discussion that took place in the yeshiva.
Oh.
Yeah, they asked the question. If you look again, look the second line down in the Gemora. Second line down in the Gemora, you have Amri, Gerusha, Nami, Tifnu. So that was the good discussion that took place in the yeshiva. And then Nukma is also part of the similar discussion. So now Amri, this is going to be the teretz of the Gemora that was developed by the Bnei HaYeshiva.
Okay, I made it, they made a teruts. Hani really, his words, the flu, Rabbi Nachman,
Yeshno Kli.
there's no clean. So this chiluk, or this
Argument.
argument. Rabbi Nachman, B'yesh no clean. Aliba the Bnei Marava. This is according to the Bnei Marava, which is Eretz Israel.
Good.
Shalchu, that they sent.
This is referring to the Gemara over there. They sent, meaning those in the Tanoim, Amorim, and Eretz Yisrael sent to Bavel the following halacha. They sent them the following halacha. Quote,
B'chor notel pishtayim b'milveh.
Velo
Lo b'ribis.
Ribis. Unquote. They sent them, this is the halacha. B'chor notel pishtayim b'milva, velo b'ribis. When you have a case of inheritance and there's an outstanding loan, the halacha, as was sent from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel, is that the Bechor will get, from the principal of the loan, he will get his double portion, but he will not get his double portion from the ribis. Unquote. That's the halacha psuka. Okay? Now, the Gemora, now Rashi is going to continue further with the Gemora.
Ukimna liba the Rabbanan. And they set it up according to Rabbanan. The fligi alei, the pligi alei.
The Rebbe. That
Oh,
the
clearly the
Rabbanan
Rebbe, right.
argue with Rebbe. Meaning, there's another maklokus, aside from the maklokus Rabbi Nachman and Rabbi in Yesh Nochlim in Bava Basra, there's another maklokus Rebbe and the Rabbanan. Okay?
Okay, the Damrei,
The Rabbanan say over there,
what say over there? Ein b'chor notel pishtayim, that the court does not get
Pishtay B'Shvach.
Shvach.
B'Shvach is something which is like the growth, the
Just the
Appreciation, maybe?
appreciation. That's good. The ribis is shvach, meaning the principal was the amount of the loan, and the ribis was the shvach. That was the profits. Yeah, profits, the interest, the profits. So the bechor gets pishtayim of the principal, but doesn't get shvach, doesn't get pishtayim of the profits. Yeah. Why? What is the what shvach are we referring to? Shvachoi nechosim. Oh, the shvach, the profits of the properties of the father after the death of the father. I mean, the father has certain properties, has certain investments, whatever you might want to call it, karka, in stocks, bonds, whatever it might be. So though the principle of all those things, the bechor gets pishtayim, because that's something which is considered to be part of the estate of the father. But any shvach, any profits that occurred that accrued after the death of the father, that's shvach, and the bechor does not get pishtayim of shvach.
the Rabbi, according to Rabbi, I feel very beat. Nami shekil. Even Pishtayim. Even Rabbi would say that he does get the prophets.
Right, because the Rabbanim were going according to what the halacha was as it was sent from Eretz Yisrael. That the halacha was sent from Eretz Yisrael, right, is our quote, right? Bechor notu pishtayim b'malva b'lo b'ribis. Rebbe argued with that halacha, and he said, no, he gets pishtayim also b'ribis. Nami shakil pishtayim. Right? The Rebbe, if it's going according to Rebbe, afilu b'ribis, nami shakil pishtayim. He also gets pishtayim disfach. Why?
The
memelu. It's something automatic. The shvach of certain things comes automatically. And therefore that's considered part of the estate of the deceased father. And therefore if it's part of the estate, it's considered like muksuk, and therefore the bechor should get pishtayim. That's Rebbe's opinion. The Rabbanim, who argue on Rebbe, held no. Ribis he doesn't get pishtayim, but he does get pishtayim of the principle of the milva.
For Shua Rabba V'Rav Nachman. And explain this, Rabba V'Rav Nachman. Laha Divnei Rabba Damrei Rabbanan. And Rabba and Rav Nachman explained to this, the Bnei Maraba in Eretz Yisrael, the Amrei, that they said Rabbanan, that they were going according to Rabbanan.
And Rab and Rav Nachman were explaining according to the opinion of the Bnei Marava, right? The Amri the Rabbanan, that they said to the Rabbanan.
Rabbanan, said to Rabbanan. Before Talpishnayim, the Milvin. Before Talpishnayim gets Pishnayim double amount, Mog, the Milvin, Mog in a loan.
Right. So Rabbi said that the before Gabu Mois, the more Gabu Karka, and Rav Nachman said he collects Karka. Okay, we're going to go over this again, Yom Rishon. Okay, so Bez Hashem, everyone should have a good Shabbos. And Mr. Hashem, the beginning of next week, we'll go over this again. Okay.